I'm going to show you a quick little example of a growth hacking tactic. This isn't something huge. You don't need a ton of venture capital to do this sort of thing. Anybody that's even just selling their own book or a tiny product can do it, but so could a company with a lot of funding. And what it does is it demonstrates the three principles that we've been talking about. And I've also uploaded it to the course lecture as a downloadable resource. So we have this person who's making a social post saying, my 96-year-old grandpa has just had his own book published with all his poems from his life. It's available on Amazon if anyone is interested. Smiley face. A review would make him so happy. So one of the big challenges with selling stuff on Amazon is getting reviews. And Amazon has really cracked down on disingenuous reviews. And you can pretty much only review a product if you've spent at least $50. And I imagine Amazon's going to get even more sophisticated with their restrictions. So the fuel that makes this a growth hack is really centered around marketing psychology. It's all about generating social proof. So the more reviews you have, the more likely it is that somebody else will write a review. And the more likely it is that somebody will actually buy your product. So what this person's being very smart, I don't know how strategic she is about this, if it's how intentional it is, but regardless, it's effective and it's something that you can be strategic about. So she's trying to generate social proof reviews. It also has social currency. So one of the principles we're going to learn later about virality from Jonah Berger is that people tend to share things if it makes them look smart, interesting, helpful. So this is a heartwarming story, and it's a surprising story. It's a newsworthy story. So by sharing it, by reviewing it, you're making yourself look better. You look more interesting by sharing it. I'm not saying that in a distasteful way. It's a genuine desire to want to make others feel good and to make yourself look like somebody that wants to make others feel good. And the other thing that we have here is emotions. So there's uplifting emotions, inspiring emotions tend to generate virality, and storytelling. It's easy to share stories. And when stories are embedded in your marketing, there's a high potential there for growth hacking with your tactics. The other key principle is economies of scale. So this isn't about running Amazon ads. It's not about Google ads. It's not about going into some channel and just trying to optimize and tweak your scalability in terms of customer acquisition that way. No, it's about let's do one post that has a lot of emotional appeal to generate word of mouth and put $0 in advertising behind it. And then what it does is it becomes self-sustaining because of the word of mouth, because of the sharing, because of the virality nature of it. You don't need to keep feeding the marketing communications with more funding. Okay, and the other thing is supply and demand. So when is the last time you heard about somebody in their 90s or 80s even writing a book? And if they did you see a photo of it? And even if that happened, was there a young, attractive girl posting the photo? There's a lot that went into this to make it very genuine. You'll notice that there's no capital letters, even here. It's just a lowercase I, lowercase m. It seems very personal. It seems like this isn't trying to manipulate people in any way. It's just a genuine call to action from Jess. So this is not something you usually see. So it's unusual. It gets noticed because it's undersupplied. And unusual stories, if we look at what really gets highlighted in the news, it's not the things you should be worried about most of the time. It's the things that are weird and that stand out because it has shock value, it has a interest. That's the kind of thing that generates publicity, and that's the kind of thing that's generating publicity and growth hacking here. And we can see we got 180,000 likes. So, I mean, that's a lot, especially if you're just one guy publishing a book. But, you don't need to generate millions and millions of likes to consider something a growth hack. Obviously, if you're a $20 million company, then that's probably what you need to have any impact. And if your customer lifetime value is very low, you're going to need that. But when you're in kind of startup mode to experiment with viral tactics, 180,000 likes is a tremendous achievement. So this is the kind of little things you can do that apply these three principles.